Hi guys. Okay, so today I decided to just do a really quick video showing you guys how to make up small batch compost tea to feed and fertilize your herb cuttings for propagation. This is oregano and this is some rosemary that I took from the plants, and I'm propagating them so that I have more plants. I just put them in a jar of water. I made a video on this. I made a video on how to do this using basils, I believe, last year in a video. And this year, I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to feed these plants to make sure that they stay at peak of health, even though they're just floating in some jars of water. Alright, so I'm going to head outside now and show you guys how to make up small batch compost. Okay, we are out in my garden now, and I have a jar here filled with a handful of pretty much finished compost. Another week or two and my compost will actually be done. But I just grabbed a handful, put it into this jar here, and it's a wide mouth jar so that I can get the compost back out easier. And then I've got this other jar here filled to the brim with rainwater that I've been collecting for a while in a couple of 5-gallon buckets. And to start the compost tea, all you gotta do is take the water and pour it on in. We're just gonna do that. Pour the water on in there. Voila. You're just gonna, in this jar, just gonna swirl it around a bit. Give it a good stir. And then I'm just gonna let that jar sit like that, probably overnight. And I'll show you the finished product tomorrow. Okay, it is the next day, and here is the compost tea. It's been steeping overnight, and I apologize if it's a little dark in this video. It's currently very overcast, and it's actually very wet outside. I don't know if you can, but I imagine you can probably hear the drippy drop of water behind me. That's because it's ever so slightly raining right now. Yay! Okay, so this is the compost tea, and now what we're going to do, now that it's steeped overnight, is we're going to strain it. Over here, I just have a bucket with just some, what is this stuff called? Window screening. It's just some old scrap window screen. I cut it out of an old busted window screen that we were throwing out. So I kept it, cut out this part, and just put it over this bucket. And we're going to use it to strain the solid compost out of the compost tea, so that we will just be left with the liquid. Okay, so I'm just going to take this jar. Here's hoping this works. And we're just going to pour it over. Ugh, about to drop the jar, that wouldn't be good. Okay. Squeeze the compost, get out the majority of the liquid. Okay. We're just gonna let that sit for a couple of minutes and allow it to drain out, and I will show you the final product. I'll rinse out this jar and put the final product back in here to show you guys once that's finished draining out over the next couple of minutes. Alright, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, I've got it all strained out, and here is the finished product. One jar filled with pure compost tea. Now, there is still some, like, finer particles floating in it, but that's alright, I don't really care about those. If you want, like, pure compost tea and you don't want, like, the particles, feel free to strain it further using, like, a t-shirt or a sock or something. Like, fit the sock over here and then invert it. That'll help you get rid of some of the finer particles. I don't really care about the finer particles, though. It's just added nutrients, and it's not like plants mind gritty tea, right? No, they don't mind it at all. So what I'm going to do to apply this to my cuttings is I'm actually going to cut it into a quarter strength, because I don't think I want to dip my cuttings directly into this. I don't want to shock them. So I've got a jar here filled about 3/4 of the way with water. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill the rest of the way up with compost tea. Voila! And now I have compost tea that's been cut by 1/4, and as you can see, it's still really dark, so there's still a lot of good nutrients in that. And then the rest of this, I'm just going to save for other plants, other uses. Alright, and now we're going to go water my cuttings. Okay, and here we are. This is the final step. Here are the cuttings I have. Again, the rosemary and the oregano. That's the water, and these are currently filled with water right now, so we're just going to pour that out and replace it with that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your cuttings, remove them from their little containers. You're going to dump these out. And now I'm just going to put them back into the empty jar. Ooh, that's kind of full. I'm going to make a mess. Oh, yep, making a mess. You don't want to fill it too full. You don't want to get any of the leaves wet. So you want to fill it to just under where the leaves are. And this one, since it's a little bit deeper, I don't have to be quite as careful. Oh dear, oh dear. The bundle is not participating. Oh dear, come on, come on. Group all the little stems together. Sorry, I keep drifting off on you. And dip them in, make sure none of the leaves are submerged. And they're not, well, nope, we're not. Okay, and we are in. And that is how you water your cuttings with compost tea, to make sure that they have plenty of nutrients and aren't going to, like, die of starvation. And as you can see, I still have quite a bit left over. I still have a lot left over, actually. So I will use that in other applications. Maybe I'll take more cuttings and water them with that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you like my style, and if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments box below. Alright, thank you guys. Bye.